What's up, Magic fans? Mackenzie Thurkill here, and it's time for another edition of Magic Soundoff. The second half of this season has begun, and that means you guys had plenty to say on social this week. So let's get to it and see what Magic Nation was buzzing about. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Orlando Magic Soundoff. I'm Mackenzie Thurkill, and today I am joined by Simon, G, and TJ. Guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. But let's get right into it, shall we? So as we know, we started the second half of our schedule, and there is a lot to be talked about. So I just want to ask you guys straight up, what do you guys want to see in this second half from the Orlando Magic? G, I want to hear your thoughts on this first.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a tough stretch coming up, haven't we? But primarily, looking ahead, we want to be developing players. We want to see minutes being given to, the future of the franchise. Yeah, your Cole Anthonys, your Chuma Okikis, Mo Bamba, those sorts of players. Other than that, you just want effort. You want to be able to say you tuned into the game, you saw the guys take the floor and put everything out there. Just try the hardest that they can, try and develop the best they can, and just leave everything on the floor so that as a fan, you've watched the game, you can hold your head up high, they tried, and if we get a few W's, great, but let's just develop these young guys.
No, that's an absolute great answer. I completely agree with you on a lot of that. Simon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with G. I think it's going to be a tough stretch of games, but I still expect the team to come out every game and play the hardest and play at a high level. I want to see somebody step up offensively and help out Vooch. But yeah, like you said, we're going to be developing a lot of guys. Okiki's going to be getting minutes more, Mobamba. And I'm interested to see what we do before the trade deadline. See if we make any moves.
It'll be interesting not only from our team, but just across the league. This is always a very interesting time to see what type of changes happen. We've seen a lot of players from other teams saying that they want out and want to go to different teams. So a lot can happen over these next few weeks. TJ, where are you at?
Yeah, I agree with what G and Simon were saying. I really think a lot of guys that people aren't really expecting are going to step up. I think some of our young guys like Mo are really going to step up, and I would be really interested in seeing him get some minutes beside Vooch. It would be unique to see. I think it can be done, and I just want to see more disciplines basketball. Like lately, we've had a lot of turnovers, and I feel like that's really thrown us out of games. And I think if we just fix some of those simple mistakes, I think we can at least be competing in basically all these games.
Yeah, it's a lot of working on the little things, and I think it's also a lot of just supporting a winning culture and trying to get these guys the opportunity. We've seen what this team is capable of, especially at the beginning of the season when we were at full health, and just to be able to get them in that right mindset of this is what it takes to win, and this is also what it feels like to lose can just really propel you going into the next season as well, I think. So that is that on that. Is there anything else that anyone would want to see? Maybe even just to throw it out there?
Yeah, I'll probably add to that. So you look at the heart and hustle team of, the 2000, the Darrell Armstrong, Bo Outlaw, and, nobody gave them a chance on paper. And what you saw every night was them just competing. And, I think there was a quote from a couple of the opponents that said, we don't like playing them because they give it all, their all every night. And, it's just tough to face. But in addition to that, I suppose you've got the likes of Dwayne Bacon at the moment getting extended minutes. And if we're to bring him back next year, then he'll certainly he'll probably be a bench player next year, but he'll be a key piece who's had the opportunity to have the minutes of a starter this year and then be able to sort of adapt and, get game time and get a better feel of the game.
Gee, I feel like you've done this a time or two before. It might help that you guys have your own podcast across the pond, which for anyone who doesn't know, if you can't tell already by the accent, G is part of our Orlando Magic UK group, and they do their own weekly podcast. So make sure if you're not following them that you are doing so already. But let's now move on to our next thing. I've heard you guys mention a few times about Chuma Okiki, who we finally have been able to see him get some playing time after, having recovered from a torn ACL all of last season. He's now appeared in over 20 games this season. And while his stats aren't anything crazy jumping off of paper, he has done so much defensively. So I just want to know what you guys have thought about him so far this season. TJ?
I've been super excited about Chuma. I think he's starting, like, it's definitely it's getting like more minutes is going to always help him. He's going to progress a lot faster. And I don't know if a lot of people even realize while he was in college at Auburn, before he got injured, he was like top 5, like best player in college basketball. And yeah, he got hurt, but now I think it's an injury he can recover from and eventually become like he was. So I'm really excited to see him get more minutes.
Yeah, currently he's averaging 4.7 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, and 2 assists, shooting 35.6% from the field and 35.8 from the three. And like I said, its defense is really where his bread and butter is. He's really excellent at understanding just where to be on the defensive end. And even just for being a rookie, he's done so amazing so far. Simon, what are your thoughts?
Chuma Okiki has been great. He's easily one of my favorite players so far. And for someone who missed the entire season last year and missed a good portion this year, it's been great to see what he can do defensively. And I think his offensive game is going to progress as the season goes on and he gets more minutes. And I think he's been a great fit for the team.
Yeah, definitely. We know Steve Clifford. He's a defensive guy. He loves having like-minded players, and he definitely fits the mold. G?
Yeah, no, you've all touched upon it there, his defense. But a lot of Chuma's work doesn't show up in the box score. It's those loose balls, those deflections, those, just getting in the passing lanes. So his defense, his basketball instincts, second to none, and something that can't be taught, really. So for him to have that in his rookie season after 20 games, he's been defending a lot of very good players. I think there was a game against the Pistons. He had Jeremy Grant locked up in a back-to-back a couple of weeks ago. So it's very encouraging to see. And he comes in the mould of like a Trevor Ariza, Robert Covington, 3-and-D guy who will stick around in the league a long time. And you see them guys on, championship teams. So he's certainly a key piece going into the future.
No, I'm glad you brought up his performance against Detroit, because that was probably the one game that stood out the most to me for him this season, because I think that was when we really finally got to see what he's capable of and what he could really turn into moving forward with being so young. Like I said, he's only 6'8" and has so much defensive versatility and just possesses a strong amount of strength and quickness. So there's a lot to look forward to in the coming seasons from Chuma. But I think also just the fact that this team does have a lot of other younger guys as well that we've been able to really see build upon this season. Guys like Cole, of course. We've seen Mo in his limited playing time do things that we kind of expected him to do, but hopefully we just see more of that as the season progresses. But I now want to switch gears because we have to talk about them. The Lakeland Magic winning the G League title this past week, not only exciting for them, but just for the Orlando Magic organization overall. They absolutely crushed it in the bubble. They beat the Delaware Bluecoats 97-78. So let's just talk about it a little bit because they deserve all the credit. And I think that's just for the fact that we've had the season that we've had. It's nice to have that glimmer of hope from our G League team to just dominate in the fashion that they did. Simon, what did you think about that win?
They had an amazing run in that NBA bubble or G League bubble, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud that they brought the trophy to Lakeland. Since they were playing in Orlando, right? So, and they had a talented group of guys. They really had great chemistry all season long, and I hope I get to see them win back-to-back championships next season.
Hey, here's to hoping. TJ?
Yeah, they've been super fun to watch. I watched the entire final, and it wasn't even close. Like they looked like they were on a whole nother level, and they just looked like they were having fun, and that was it was really like I don't know, refreshing to see. And it was I'm excited to see what they are able to accomplish next year, especially with the G League. Really, I feel like it's taking it that the NBA's putting a lot of effort towards it, so it's going to take that next step. So that's really exciting.
It is. And I think the one thing that was exciting about this team is that there wasn't just one player that led them the whole entire through their playoff run, because they had someone different leading the team in scoring in each and every one of their playoff games, which shows how much of a team effort it was. They talked about that after getting that win, about like, it's not about our individual performances, whether it be offensively or defensively. This is a team win and this is a team sport, and that's what we were striving to do, and that's what we accomplished. G?
Stan Heath's done a superb job, as has Anthony Parker and Tunji Adife, I think his name is. Apologies if I've said that wrong. But they've built a real good culture, because I think the last 3 years they've won more G League games than any other franchise. So it's building the culture, and like you picked up on, Mackenzie, you had different scorers every night. I think in the quarterfinals against Erie, they set a G League record for 3-point field goals made with 23.
Insane.
Yeah, I know. So they won that game by 29, won the semi-final by 12, and then by 19 in the final. So, they did blow away the competition. Played smothering defense, flowing offense, and shot the ball very well. And Devin Kennedy was a guy, when he was with the Magic in the sort of summer leagues and the training camps, he was a guy I was itching to come on the roster, because I quite like the kid. So hopefully he gets an opportunity, having won the MVP for the G League.
Yeah, he finished that game with game high 22 points in their final. Yeah, Devin obviously put on a show in that game. But I think what's so great about it is I don't know if enough people give the G League credit, and the fact that our team just being down I-4, only an hour away from Amway Center, so much of not only Alex Martins and the DeVos family, but like head coach Steve Clifford keeps his hand in there a lot too. He always constantly wants to know what's happening there, because there is so much going back and forth with our two-way guys, especially you mentioned Devin having been with the team prior to the season starting. So there's so much that can happen in terms of these players developing that we can then now see potentially at the Amway Center.
What I like as well is they play the same system. So, like you said, Mackenzie, it's only an hour away, and they can take a drive down the I-4 and play for either team and fit into the system quite well. Just not having to learn a new playbook.
Another thing that was very exciting that came out for us earlier in the week is that we finally saw the unveiling of our earned jerseys. So I first want to give some shout outs to some fans who sent some tweets about them. Someone saying, so yeah, these are amazing. Just wear these all the time, which they are pretty amazing. I thought they were pretty great. On that note, someone also just said, just seen the rest, Orlando won. Because obviously anyone who made the playoffs last year got their own version of an earned jersey. And then last but not least, someone saying, I know I generally speak out against slapping giant logos on uniforms and calling it a day since it's sore lady, but God, these are fire. So with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts on the earned edition jerseys that were just unveiled. G?
Yeah, they're decent. I love the paneling on the side. So it's a homage to the 99 stars, the blue stars down the side. So I know that's a big fan favourite, and a jersey a lot of people want to see come back. So having that as a little bit of a teaser on this one is quite nice. But no, the only thing that's a shame is that they're only wearing them for 3 games.
Mm-hmm. I know. So, we don't get to see them for very long, which is unfortunate. But of course, I had to ask you first, because I see your jerseys hanging in the background. Yeah. So I had to get your thoughts, because I know you've been a Magic fan for a minute. So you've seen your fair share of Orlando Magic jerseys. TJ, what were your thoughts on the new jerseys?
Yeah, I think it was. I agree with G. It's at first I was a little hesitant about seeing the big logo, but then it really started to grow on me, and it's like a perfect. As behind G, I can see the Nick Anderson T-Mac jersey, and it's like a perfect mixture of those two jerseys together. And I always like the white jerseys. I think it looks cool, and maybe eventually, hopefully we get some like the 99, like the Anderson, the All-Stars, but maybe this is like a teaser. I don't know. But I like them though. I think they're cool.
No, the white's super clean. I remember when they were actually shooting it, like pictures and everything for it before it was even unveiled. This was a couple weeks ago, and I walked by and I was like, ooh, hello, what are you? So I was very excited about it. Simon?
I love the new jerseys. I thought they were super fresh. I love the stars on the side. Reminds me of the T-Mac era, kind of. And I think they're the best earned jerseys in the NBA right now. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, what do you guys think? Best ones?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, right? You got
sure.
to. I like the switch up too, considering like if you look at our city edition, it's just such a drastic and stark difference from that, which I like that we now have that option to rock it. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, I appreciate you guys so much again for taking time out of your day. This was so much fun, and I appreciate all of your thoughts and input on the Orlando Magic and everything that has been going on this last week. So Simon, G, TJ, thank you again so much for joining me today.
Anytime.
Thank you for having us.
I'd like to thank our guests again for joining us this week. And remember, this is your show and your opportunity to be heard. So be on the lookout on Instagram for when we're signing up guests for our next show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode of Orlando Magic Soundoff, as well as our other amazing Orlando Magic content. Until next week, I'm Mackenzie Thurkill. Have a good one, everybody.